Let me ask you this. So I was reading in Ira Windeman's Ask Ira column. Love Ira. He was asked about the potential of the Heat signing DeMarcus Cousins for the playoff run because the Heat can sign an extra player, can sign a player because being hard capped, but they would have to get rid of somebody. But are you into that? Are you into the idea of the Heat signing DeMarcus Cousins for the playoff run, or is that too much of a move to kind of add into the concoction that is your good chemistry locker room and all that? I saw in mind, and I saw the big name, and I was like, not really into it. Not into it.
Keep in mind how the Heat operate. Like, they'll sign a guy with a big name, and he'll just sit on the end of the bench. It's like breaking glass in case of emergency. So just because they sign him, don't just assume this guy's going to get minutes. I've learned that watching the Heat for years. Remember the old Greg Oden experiment?
Yeah, but Greg Oden isn't known as like a guy who will stir it up. DeMarcus Cousins, I strike as a guy who's a little bit ornery. Like
DeMarcus Cousins was one of the most skilled big men before his Achilles.
No doubt.
He was getting ready for a max contract. So
I understand that, but he's also been known as a guy he's a technical vacuum. Like he hoses them up. Like he definitely doesn't let his feelings be known to the ref at all. Like he'll go out there and he'll blow things. Now, maybe you say, look, the Heat locker room they can handle.
That's what I was getting ready to say. How you gonna all of a sudden?
Because
has a Heat locker not ever fixed somebody?
I mean, we just had it with Deion. Like Deion didn't care.
Deion was fine when he was playing.
I know. I don't know. Well, what if DeMarcus though? What if you get him and he looks like a guy who hasn't played in 2 years?
He probably will. I mean, what do you expect him from a torn Achilles and seeing him when?
I think people think that if you get DeMarcus Cousins, he's going to drop and give you 15, and you're going to get like 8 from him.
Right.
That's what I think people are going to say. Be like, oh, just try it out, see what he's got. And normally I'm that guy, but I don't know. This is a different situation. You're kind of just dropping him in, and there's Mickey Mouse. It's all types of things going on there. People aren't allowed to use steroids. I don't know what we're jumping into here.
Here's what I think. If you sign somebody, you need able bodies. It's too late, and you're going to have too many guys are going to have to play with this schedule to have projects. And I think that's what DeMarcus Cousins would be. You basically would be kicking the tires on him.
Yeah, you're definitely kicking the tires. Last time he played a little bit in the playoffs last year. He got 8 games in.
He played in the finals.
Played in the finals. Yeah, he was 7.5 and 5 last year for Golden State in the very limited play. And before that, it was in 2017-18. He got to play 50 games, and as Leroy said, that was right before he was going to get this big extension and all that type of stuff, but all kind of blew up from there.
He bet on himself.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So
I bet you he wish he would have signed that extension or whatever.
Well, he's not one of those guys who never got paid. I think he did get his first extension where he got like 6 figures. I think though he would have made like the Uber Max if he would have.
Right.
Well, no. He wouldn't have made the Uber Max. I think that was one of the reasons he was upset he was traded, because he wanted to get the Uber Max and then get traded. So, but it's still a lot of money that he missed out on.
Yeah, he also had a torn ACL.
He's only 29 years old, and as Leroy said, one of the most skilled bigs out there. He did just get a guy fired on Twitter just by throwing a little fish out there too. He's just like, your thoughts, Black Lives Matter. He just knew where it was going. You know that DeMarcus Cousins just wasn't in a good mood that day. He goes, watch this, everybody. And the guy's like, no. How dare you ask me what that means? He knew it was coming. He knew it was coming.
He put the old Tobin chum in the water.
I would gotta imagine that DeMarcus Cousins is going to re-sign with the Lakers, though, right? Like he was on their roster at one point this year. You don't think that he's got the wink nod with them?
Can he play? I don't think a lot of people are kicking the tires. on players.
I think the last thing I read on him was that like they let him go for a technicality on the roster, but that with the intention to bring him back. But I mean,
Then why is he being discussed with the Heat? Because if I had a choice,
because he doesn't have to. Like if he feels like he's coming back and there's no shot he's going to play with the Lakers, but he could actually make it. I think if you're DeMarcus Cousins, to your point, don't you want to come back, make an impact in the playoffs, and like get some kind of multi-year deal? I'm sure he's tired of signing minimum contracts.
Yeah, man, look, he's had a torn ACL and an Achilles. Where do you think that's going?
I don't know.
For big.
I'm
okay, but like you making it sound like he's gonna have options like nothing's wrong.
I'm just asking from his perspective, like what's a better place for him? Like, is he gonna go? Because the Lakers, with or without him, are probably a championship contender. So, like, do you think they're gonna want to rock the boat? Whereas the Heat, I think you could say Riley looks at it and says, "Yeah, skilled big, yeah,
okay,
final piece."
But he was already with the Lakers, so the transition of getting him onto the floor is going to be easier than it will be here.
Not necessarily, though.
If he wants to get paid, he needs to play.
What if Riley goes to him and he goes, "Hey,
Riley ain't going to do that.
Hey,
he ain't going to do that. You know that. Stop making up situations that don't exist. Riley don't determine how much you play. You know that. He's told Deion.
It's not. All he has to do.
There are tons of them, but there are none.
Well, maybe he doesn't have to pitch on play. He just pitches on opportunity. Maybe with the Lakers there is no opportunity.
You think there's more of an opportunity to play? Because here, think about it this way. If the Lakers bring him back, it's because they know what he can do and they can use him. If the Heat bring him in, I don't care what they say of him, right? You know he's not going to be in Heat shape. He's not going to be able to get into Heat shape. And so he's going to have to kind of prove himself on the fly.
Yeah, but who's in Heat shape right now? Nobody's in Heat shape. Everybody's kind of coming in cold.
Who's in Heat shape?
Who's in Heat shape right now?
Really?
Everybody's been sitting by the pool for the last 3 months.
All right. The only thing Tyler been working out is his hair.
I just think it's not that crazy. I don't think I'm that into it because I don't think DeMarcus Cousins is going to be that big of a help right now, coming in cold like that. But I could see where he looks at it and says, where can I go? Because a lot of the times these guys go and they say, well, where can I set up myself for the rest of my career? If you go to the Lakers, who are already set up to win, and you
get playing time,
but what he doesn't. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're a team that's
an average guy,
aren't you less likely to play him?
But why would they bring him in? Like, he's already been there. So if you bring a guy like that in, you could probably play him. Whereas if the Heat bring him in, they're going to see what he has and try to maybe work him in. He has a better chance of playing in LA, only because he's been there. Yes, absolutely.
But he's barely been there though. He got hurt before the season.
So they
don't really know what he can do.
But he practiced with them.
I think he might have gotten hurt before they even signed Frank Vogel.
Really? All right.
Yeah. Well, he's played 0.0 for them.
Somebody chimed in. If he came here, he'd get. Well, no, I ain't gonna say that. I thought it was the other way, but we gonna let that go. Look, you have to put yourself in a position that one put you on the stage where you can be seen.
Yes.
Right. Now I'm not saying the Heat won't do that, but I'm saying a situation that the Lakers are in right now, the situation that the Lakers are in, you can pretty much guarantee you they're going to make a run. Yes, they're going to make a deep run.
Agreed.
Right? It's been proven that LeBron makes every player around him better. So if you can just get a couple of eyes on you, you're gonna go with that opportunity. I'm saying that if the Heat sign him, you know how the Heat do things. Well, we want to make sure this, we want to make sure that. Like, I'm not saying that he won't get an opportunity to play. But beforehand, if you have to think, what gives me the best opportunity to be on the court? Now, if this is offseason, it's a different story, right? Because I'm thinking skilled big guy, the Heat really use skilled big guys, unlike any other team. He would fit perfect.
There was. I remember there being interest in DeMarcus before the year started.
Right. So, but the opportunity to be seen and get the most run is with the Lakers, just based on how both franchises do things. Now, keep in mind, no team's going to sign him if he's not going to play. This is not project time. You need bodies on the court. So it could be they work him out and neither team likes it.
That's true. That's true. Maybe he looks completely not ready. But, I mean, I do think that I just think that he does have tremendous talent. And maybe a team like the reasons I could argue for it for Miami, reasons against it, chemistry, not wanting to rock the boat too much.
I'm not worried about here. The great thing about the Heat is no matter how bad the apple has been, right? Hassan, you could say Philly cheese. The way they do things, chemistry has never been a factor.
And then the reasons for it, he's tremendously talented.
But we don't know that.
No, but I'm just saying based on
right. what he's done. Correct.
What he's done. He's a tremendously talented player. And if you can get anything out of him at the level of the Heat team is, which you would think is like maybe a second-tier playoff team, and that those extra minutes just take you to an extra another level.
Leroy, we have to give a big ol' happy birthday. It's a friend of the program, one of our favorites. Happy 40th to number 40. Udonis Haslem. UD. Happy birthday to Udonis Haslem. Dude is the best. Love him.
Yep. He is the king of keeping it real.
Love that guy. He was awesome on the. If you guys haven't seen the interview that we did with Udonis Haslem, you guys go check it out on the ticketmiami.com. It's still up there, and I don't know why it wouldn't be up there. You guys it's not like we erased our interviews, but you guys can go check it out. He was awesome, and also laughed at my unathleticism, which is always a dream of yours when you get into the business of sports broadcasting, that your favorite basketball players are going to mock your fatness.
Oh no, can I just tell you? We long for the day when the media had a sporting event. I'm telling you, because keep in mind, it's easy to comment on it like you do the easiest job in the world. And then to watch, that right there, that would have had some run on my team.
Oh.
We would have put up money, built the wall, so everybody on the team could run up that wall, just to give you an idea what it's like.
So good.
So yesterday, I think I sent you the picture, or I tweeted it out. Yesterday, B sends me a picture.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And I'm like, who the hell is Beast taking that picture with? I'm like, wow, my wife was wearing a dress just like that. Oh, that's my wife. They go, how the hell did you not know it was your wife? So she got a mask on. Right? I'm like, and why on earth? Think about this. Why on earth would it run through my mind that Beast could possibly run into my wife somewhere? She was at the dentist.
Was she?
Yeah, she went to the dentist. And that's so why would I even think that? Yeah, man. And it caught me off guard. It's just like, how about this? On my birthday, when my wife called, it took me a minute to realize it was her. Not because I didn't know her voice, but why on earth would I ever, you see what I mean?
Yeah, why would you get that?
Right, why she doesn't like, she hates Like, she's awkward. She's so uncomfortable and nervous and whatever. The fact that she would call, I never even considered it.
That's wild.
But,
so do you want to hear a little playoff preview, Leroy?
All right. So hold on. Let's put this in context because I know you. Mm-hmm. I think I know you well enough. There's probably a lot of playoff previews out there. Mm-hmm. Tobin has picked the playoff preview that he likes the most.
No, not necessarily. No, they did a playoff. Let me explain. They did a playoff preview for. They did a playoff preview for all 22 teams that are going there, right?
Okay.
Now, this playoff preview in particular comes from that Nick Friedel. I mean, we know about that Nick Friedel, Robbie. I mean, come on, this guy. I mean, come on. So here's what he has to say. He says, Miami is primed to make a push in the bubble behind a fully rested and healthy Jimmy Butler. If Bam Adebayo can continue his star trajectory and veteran Andre Iguodala can provide veteran guidance, Coach Erik Spoelstra has to like his chances of his team being able to make a run. All right, here's my first thing, Leroy. Right off the bat from Nick Friedel. Andre Iguodala is just one of the most famous guys in the Miami Heat. The fact that he's the third guy mentioned is a little bit silly sauce, Leroy. He's the silly sauce sprinkler.
Well, he lumped all the young guys together.
Whatever.
That's why.
Here's what he writes. You
think he thought Iguodala was the third most important person? That's why he mentioned him third?
Yup. He got third billing.
No.
He got third billing.
What's wrong with you? Here we go.
He writes.
Robbie, hit it.
What?
Silly sprinkler.
He writes, how they got here. The biggest revelation for the Heat wasn't just how quickly they gelled behind Butler and Adebayo. It was the immediate impact of the younger players on the roster. Kendrick Nunn, Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Derrick Jones Jr. all played important roles in the Heat's success and depth. It will be interesting to see how much of a playoff impact former Finals MVP Iguodala acquired in the Memphis trade has to make. Dude's obsessed with Iguodala. Let me tell you something, Leroy. If he's watched the Heat for 3 seconds this year, I know Iguodala hasn't been on the team that long, but if he's watched it for 3 seconds, you haven't even noticed Andre Iguodala. He's barely gotten his feet wet.
And if you're going to go there, you would mention Jay Crowder first anyway.
Right. Jay Crowder. Can I get a Goran Dragic mention, Friedel? Come on, man. What's at stake? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Gogi. Like, if this guy was out here and he was really doing a play, here's what he did. He goes, Nick Friedel, let me come up with the playoff preview. Hate the Heat, Bulls and whatnot. I know Jimmy Butler used to cover him in Chicago. We know each other. Bam, that's the new guy. That's the new buzzword. Who else do I know? Iguodala. Like, he didn't spend any time. He's just like, let me throw some stuff here against the wall. What's at stake? Here's what he says. The challenge for the Heat is finding out just how far their current core can take them. Do they have enough with this group to push to the top of the East, or will they come up short and have to add another star caliber piece with free agency? Don't have too much of a problem with that. I agree with most of that point, so I won't crush Friedel there.
In other words, what do we have to find out?
Do they have the onions, playoff onions, road onions?
Playoff onions.
Only problem is we won't know about the onion factor, the ROF, if you will, the road onion factor, because, of course, as we know, this is a NOF situation, neutral onion factor.
Question. I said this, and then Spo repeated it. Must have been listening to me. I said this year's champion will be the truest champion in the NBA has had in a while, simply because if you're playing at a neutral site, everybody has the same opportunity. There is no home field advantage. There is no road games. There isn't a lot of travel.
And what did Spo say that you liked?
Huh?
What did Spo say that you liked?
He said the same exact thing. He said it's going to be the truest champion. With no road games, no home games, all the games played in one spot, those aren't factors. It's just going to be about talent, coaching, game planning, and stuff like that.
His quote was, "These will be the very playoff teams that we hope to be facing 2 weeks later. In many ways, it's the purest form of competition." That's beautiful.
What happens to the...
Did I not say that?
Dude, Erik Spoelstra says some things.
Hold on. Didn't I say that 3 days ago?
Yeah, like Spo though, he puts it with his little Spo flair to it.
Okay, that's fine. You can put whatever twist you want. Look, you know what that is?
What?
You know what that is? Sampling. I want.
No, that's not sampling.
Yeah.
If anything, you sampled it from him.
No, I didn't. I said it first.
No way. Well, how does he know? You think he's listening to the podcast?
Yep.
So you think Spo is out on a jog and he's like,
no,
that's pretty good from that Leroy Horde.
He's listening to radio.com, right?
The rewind.
He's running.
He rewind
he's
it.
Running.
Rewound it.
No, he's running. He's probably running early in the morning when I said it.
You're thinking that. Let me get this
that
straight.
Leroy, that's a smart guy. I'm going to go ahead on and say something
You think that Erik Spoelstra is stealing your stuff?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if Udonis Haslem saw your video, it's easy to believe that Erik Spoelstra would be listening to Leroy Horde's takes.
Right. But okay, I said the same thing. And wait, hold on. Here's the more important part I wanted to take out of this. You laughed at me. You mocked me. You hurt my feelings. And
it's not quite.
Hold on. Then Spo says the same damn thing, and you're praising him.
Oh, what
do you have to say about that?
What do I have to say about what? He's, this is a guy who tells you that the league is forged in fire between the hammer and the anvil, and it's not flowers and it's not a skunk rose. It's beautiful. It is the NBA.
Don't divert. Hey, you just water your grass.
Like
right now you're watering the neighbor's grass.
Made in a bed of roses and sunshine.
Yep.
Like steel, it's forged in fire in between a hammer and an anvil. Right now,
call a sprinkler guy.
Anvil. This is the NBA.
Call a sprinkler guy.
No,
because one of your sprinklers is watering the street.
No.
Okay. Yep.
It's just
rogue sprinkler.
No. If anything,
I said the same damn thing.
You didn't.
And you tried to get me off radio.
No.
And now all of a sudden, it's the wisest thing you've ever heard.
If you said something to the effect of, "This is going to show the truest champion," that's not saying the same thing as this is competition in its purest form.
See, here we go. This show has killed my credibility. Spo said it, not you. Sorry, Leroy. Once you wore nipple clamps, you lost all credibility. See, show has killed it.
That's all right.
Somebody said, the playoffs are not all roses and sunshine. These games will be forged in fire between Mickey and Minnie Mouse.
Oh, boy. Do you think that Erik Spoelstra is going to be able to pull that move during the playoffs with the referees where he's telling them to get some sleep?
Yes.
Like he's going to go.
I'm telling you what.
Get some sleep.
He insults you in a way that you have to look back and say, wait, did he just insult me?
Let me disarm you here for a second so I do not get fined.
NBA, do not find me.
I love that guy. Yeah, he makes a good point about the purest competition, though. I got to say. That's pretty smart by him.
By the way, what happens to the role players? Because we know the role players, they show up at home, but they don't really travel on the road.
That's what I'm saying. You don't know. You got this onion factor. I don't know who's got the onions because we're playing in Disney World. You're playing next to Minnie and Mickey. How am I supposed to know how that's going to translate?
Because it's basketball. And it's all about basketball. Nothing else.
When do you think Erik Spoelstra writes a book? This guy's got some wisdom, man. I love it.
When he has more time, when he's the president?
Nah, that's going to be Wade.
Really? All right.
Oh, man. Here's what else. Okay, let's finish with this Friedel, what he has to say. Big question after the layoff. How will a neutral site impact Miami? Miami went 27-5 at home, but 14-19 on the road this season. For a team that had the inside track and home court advantage in the first round before the season was suspended, how the Heat respond to a neutral site is key. I mean, all right. I don't bust on Friedel too much about that one. Little too much Iguodala for me. Wish you would have had a Goran Dragic mention in there. All in all, I give it a C- for a playoff review from Nick Friedel. Do you want his fun fact? Do you want Friedel's fun fact? That's a triple F. Do you want to hear it, Leroy? He says, did you know Bam Adebayo is on pace to become the first player in Heat history to average 10 rebounds and 5 assists a game?
Yeah.
How about that?
And that's anybody. That's not rookie. That's not
Anybody.
That's anybody.
Anybody.
Well, that sounds. You know who would have been the closest to doing that? Bosh.
Yeah. Probably.
Or maybe LeBron.
I was actually going to say, yeah, I was kind of, I guess.
But LeBron was probably, 38-8?
I wonder what LeBron's career, or what was his rebounding high with the Heat.
Because he never averaged a double-double.
He's never averaged a double-double?
No, I can't imagine getting 10 rebounds or 10 assists per game for a season.
For a season.
His Heat, these were LeBron with the Heat. He was 26.7 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, 7 assists. The closest he came, he averaged in his the 2012-2013 season MVP year, 26.8 points per game, 8 rebounds a game, 7 assists a game. Yeah, pretty good.
Right.
Yeah, pretty good, love. Man.
But
All right,
but I do believe he could average a triple-double if he wanted to.
Right? Probably. Yeah.
Sure.
I'm surprised he hasn't cranked that one up, to be honest with you. The closest he's come to a triple-double, I guess you could say, was 2017-18. He had 27.5, 8.6 rebounds a game, 9 assists a game.
I believe there was one season with the Heat. I don't know if it was the second or the third season where he only had one triple-double for the entire season, and it was the clincher, the title clincher. I don't know if it was against Oklahoma City or against San Antonio, but that was the only triple-double he had for the entire season.
I think a triple-double was against OKC,
and that was the only one he had for that entire season.
Because I think Mike Inglis referred to him as the triple-double man when he won the game. Triple-double man. All right, we'll take a break. We're back after this.